afraid of getting older? If yes, you're definitely not alone, especially in our youth-obsessed culture with so much ageism happening. The fear of aging is rampant. In this video, I'm going to share myths about aging to debunk and demystify the fear around some of the common misconceptions that our society may scare us with. The good news is you have the option of taking your aging self seriously, and you can take preventative measures now. In case you're new here, I'm Cyn Meyer, the founder of Second Wind Movement and a life coach for older adults who are striving to live their ideal, active, healthy, and engaged retirement lifestyles. A massive part of living your best retirement life full of purpose and passion is, of course, your mindset. And stereotypes and myths are notorious for feeding into some less than ideal thinking patterns, to say the least. Just look at all the sad stats on the rise among older adults, like the increasing number of people who will be touched by Alzheimer's and the increasing number of people expected to occupy nursing homes. The good news is you don't have to fall victim to the many myths about aging, and you can take the aging process into your own hands one microstep at a time, with some lifestyle changes and definitely some mindset changes. To help you be proactive and do just that, let's dig into the myths about aging that could be holding you back. Number one, your retirement years are only about leisure. We've been conditioned in our culture to think that once you hit retirement age, it's all about easy peasy relaxation and leisure. Yes, that's true, but it's also about having it all. The relaxation and the slower pace and the healthy, active, engaged lifestyle with purpose, adventure, creativity, and passion. I help people accomplish this daily, so I know firsthand how the opposite, as in the stereotypical sedentary lifestyle, is not gonna cut it. And that leads to retirement anxiety and depression and loneliness. The old way of looking at retirement is to spend its entirety in leisure, which, by the way, is a third of the average lifespan. Longevity is not 3 clean life stages in a linear format. That's old school thinking. As life expectancy increases and as our culture shifts, the modern way of looking at retirement years is more cyclical and intermingled between stages. As Dr. Ken Dickwald, author and founder of AgeWave, puts it, it looks more like this. Plus, this modern way of looking at longevity as cyclical is healthier and less shocking to your system. A study out of Oregon State University claims continued work supports healthy aging. The researchers also found that working even 1 year beyond retirement age significantly lowers mortality rate, and that people can benefit from remaining active and engaged, of course. And lifelong learning is also good for your health. Another study found that people who are more educated tend to have lower morbidity from the most common acute and chronic diseases. So here's the myth debunked. There's evidence that shows older adults are craving more than a cut and dry life of leisure during their retirement years. And there's science that tells us being active and social and growing and learning improve your health and your longevity. Myth number 2, depression, loneliness, and dementia are part of the normal aging process. Sure, it can be more challenging to meet new people as you age, since you're likely not engaging with your coworkers on a daily basis. And there's crazy stats on the rise among older adults, like 1 in 5 boomers are diagnosed with depression in their lifetime. 1 in 3 seniors dies from Alzheimer's and other dementias. Nearly 1/3, as in 11.3 million, of older adults living alone are susceptible to isolation and loneliness. But having to accept this as part of the normal aging process is a total myth. The myth debunked. These scary stats are not part of the normal aging process and can be either prevented and/or symptoms can be curbed. Like anything meaningful and worthwhile in life, it takes effort to make it great. You have total control over your lifestyle choices, and entering retirement, going from 60 to 0, super structured days to totally unstructured days, is a shock to anyone's system. Throw in an identity crisis because it's a huge shift in your role, it's gonna be a challenge for any human. So it's important to realize that there's just some extra inertia and clarity that needs to be addressed to get back to a lifestyle that you love. And oftentimes it can be even better than your peak family and career days. Also, this is what the normal aging process looks like. Loneliness and depression are not on the list. And although memory loss and decrease in mental endurance is on the list, this does not mean forms of dementia. For instance, there's a big difference between where are my keys versus why are my keys in the fridge. There are proactive steps that you can take. You can hack away at things that are in your control. Plus, you can leverage the power of neuroplasticity, as in you can create new neural pathways in your brain until the day you die, which means as a human, you're built for lifelong learning and growth and new behavioral patterns. On that note, number 3, you don't need to learn new things as you age. Your brain, like any other muscle in our bodies, follows the use it or lose it concept, where it starts to deteriorate over time if you allow yourself to neglect it. There was a 15-year nun study conducted at the University of Kentucky that studied over 650 Catholic sisters from age 75 to 107. After having lived a life with very similar lifestyle factors, they each had annual cognitive, physical, and functional evaluations in their later years throughout the study. And what they found was that the women who were more inclined to learn throughout their entire life had much lower rates of Alzheimer's as they aged. In the same study, the nuns had written autobiographical essays in their 20s when taking their vows, and researchers analyzed them to find that the sisters who wrote about more complex ideas and learnings were the ones who had much lower rates of Alzheimer's. So here's the myth debunked. The fact that neuroplasticity exists and that your brain can create new neural pathways for as long as you live proves that you're built for learning and growth at all ages. It's about exercising, practicing, and putting in the effort as you age. You need to learn new things to maintain your cognitive health, as well as your sense of fulfillment and personal stimulation and life satisfaction. Number 4, aging makes you unproductive, less competent, and less adaptable to change. According to the US Bureau of Labor and Statistics, 24% of seniors volunteer. The study I mentioned above in myth number 1, conducted by AgeWave and Merrill Lynch, also revealed that 47% of current retirees are either working, have planned, or plan to work in retirement. 58% of retirees say that retirement was an opportunity to transition to a different type of work, so work is a big deal. Basically, myth debunked. As people age, there are trending behaviors that show older adults, especially today's generation, are just getting started. They're ready for more purpose, passion, adventure, helping others, and contributing. It's just about finding clarity on your innermost authentic identity and purpose. That needs to be unleashed. And because I get to help and witness older adults every day become more productive, more competent, and more adaptable to change, this one has got to be flipped on its head. Number 5, aging makes you less adventurous and less creative. There are so many amazing people who hit their adventurous and creative prime during their quote senior years. You personally probably know some exemplary older adults in your own life who are just crushing it as they age. I can think of 2 ladies off the top of my head who are particularly impressive. There's Eve, who lives alone, is still super social and involved in the community, and continued to surf on her longboard well into her 80s. And Annabelle, who's 92 and one of our all-star students and oldest member of our Rewire My Retirement program, the youngest being 55. Annabelle is so bright and creative. She illustrates every day, does her exercise bike, and is still driving around town. And most importantly, she's a true lifelong learner and still actively learning new things daily. And even if you don't know of anyone personally, there are numerous famous people out there to serve as amazing inspiration for all of us. Like Gladys Burrow, who's a cancer survivor, and she ran her first marathon at 86 and became famous for competing the Honolulu Marathon at age 92. George Blair, known as Banana George because of his yellow wetsuits, George was famous for his extreme barefoot water skiing, which he did from the age of 40s until 92. Annie Leibovitz is a well-known American portrait photographer who photographed John Lennon the day that he was assassinated. Annie became the first woman to exhibit at Washington's National Portrait Gallery, and she's still creative today and teaches online photography among other projects. And these are just 3 inspiring trailblazers. Just check out our video on late bloomers to hear about more amazing older adults who didn't let a late start stop their success and passion. So here's the myth debunked. Aging can make you more adventurous and more creative. With the right mindset, tools, and the willingness to try, there are so many habitual changes that you can make on a daily basis that can fuel your creative fire and your sense of adventure. Myth about aging number 6. The way you age is dependent on your genes. The World Health Organization says that 25% of your longevity is dependent on genetics, which means the other 75% is dependent on external and environmental factors that are in your control. So here's the myth debunked. You have the opportunity to impact the way you age by focusing on your environment, your lifestyle, and your behavior. There are incremental steps that you can take in your daily life to reach your goals of successful aging. The key is to break up your bigger goals into smaller goals and to use specific tools and a personalized roadmap that can help you reach your ideal outcome. But before microstepping anywhere, there's a huge, super important initial step to take that most people miss. Because I see this over and over again, you need to find clarity first. Clarity always comes from inside and going inward for the answers. If you leave it up to trial and error or trying what other retirees are doing or what a family member or spouse suggests to you, that may not work for you and you lose steam and you get super unmotivated. So in case you want help finding clarity, we have a Finding Clarity workbook that you can use for free. I'll leave a link in the description below this video. That's how seriously helpful clarity is in this super important life phase of retirement. So there you have our 6 myths about aging that could be hurting your potential. To recap, your retirement years are only about leisure. That's not true. It's about having all the fun, adventure, passion, purpose, contribution, and the leisure and relaxation. Depression, loneliness, and dementia are part of the normal aging process. You don't need to learn new things as you age. Aging makes you unproductive, less competent, and less adaptable to change. Aging makes you less adventurous and less creative. The way you age is dependent on your age. So which of these myths about aging gets you the most fired up and motivated to take action? I know you can unlock so many more possibilities. If you want help transitioning into a purposeful retirement, we are here to help. Check out our signature program, Rewire My Retirement, in case there's room available during enrollment. I'll leave a link in the description below this video as well. Thank you so much for being here and for striving to be your best in retirement. We need more people like you. And remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment on this video. Every interaction that you make with us helps us do our job better of serving this very important audience of older adults who are striving to be their best. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.